I made a video today about Psyche and Libra, and I actually wanted to remake that video because I was rushing to get out the door to get to Costco. So I just feel like that video could have been better. So here we go, Psyche and Libra. For those of you that saw the first video, I talked a little bit about some pop culture references or characters that we can compare as like a Psyche and Libra archetypal kind of character. And that was Bella Swan from Twilight, as well as Charlotte from Sex and the City. But I actually also want to add in Greer from the show Reign, the retelling of Mary Queen of Scots' story. And honestly, I'm rewatching that show right now, and it's one of my comfort shows, and so that's going to be the main example I'm going to be talking about right now. Now, Psyche is the soul's journey, but because we're talking about Psyche being in Libra, a lot of this video is going to focus on relationships as a concept and theme. People with Psyche and Libra as an asteroid placement are going to be people that actually have a lot in common with Psyche and Pisces, which of course we'll get to at another time. But these are going to be people that really desire a well-balanced relationship. It doesn't matter if it's romantic, friendship, or like a business kind of situation. They want a well-balanced partnership, something that almost seems a bit storybook-like. It looks good, but it actually works really well. That's what they're aiming for, something that is structurally sound. They expect fairness in the relationship. They give it and they expect to receive it back. They want to truly be seen as a partner, not just an object of affection or some vessel for giving their partner something that they want. They truly want to cooperate. They want to build with another person. They strive for deep mutual understanding. They want to be understood, as well as they want to truly understand their partner on a deep level. These people really value connection and social harmony. A lot of times these are going to be the people that have a lot of relational as well as emotional intelligence because they truly value connection with other people, not for what they can give them or what, the relationship can create, I guess, at their best, but they just truly value the connection between one person and another as a sacred thing. These people are very charismatic. They are going to be the people that, almost like as a superpower, they are really good at managing as well as navigating kind of like social interactions and situations under pressure. And for that reason, these people oftentimes do really well in partnership-based roles, such as like being a social worker or just being like a therapist. They, I think, do really well. If they are not in that job field, then in some way, shape, or form in their life, they are that to somebody else in their life. Basically, they are really good at handling crisis and helping to kind of bring soothing harmony to a high-stress situation, essentially because they can read the room very well. They're really empathetic to how their actions might affect another person, and they oftentimes, at their best, like I said, will adjust accordingly if that needs to happen. And this is why I mentioned Greer from the show Reign, because if you watch that show, then you know at the beginning of that show, she started out as one of Mary's ladies. But by the end of the show, or like halfway through the show, like around season 2, she was kicked out of court and she became a madam. And the crazy thing is that being a madam relied heavily on her connections from her past noble life, as well as connecting with the whores that she met in the bar. And so not only was she using both her past life and her current life and creating relationships and maintaining relationships in both parts of those lives, but also she created a bridge between the two because they had to come together with her job as a madam. That's how she was making money. And people with Psyche and Libra are not only good with creating relationships with other people, they're great at creating bridges in social situations when it comes to two environments that you would not think should come together or would come together. somehow they make it happen. It just meshes really well when they do it. At their worst, these placements can over-identify with relationships and really lose themselves in the process because they can't separate the I from the we. Sometimes this placement can really be the worst of people pleasers. They can a lot of times set aside their own boundaries, wants, and needs just for the sake of keeping the peace. Because sometimes, just like Greer in Rain, at the beginning more so, they can over-identify with or fall in love more so with the idea of a relationship, not the actual person that they're in a relationship with. Because if you watched Rain, like I said, at the beginning, Greer wanted to be with a kitchen boy. However, she was constantly forced with the reality of her needing to be essentially the savior for her family, and her family really pushed for her to marry someone with a title, somebody that was rich, and she identified with that so much that she sacrificed her own happiness for it. Somebody else's choice became her choice. Now, honestly, I could use Greer as an example with Psyche and Libra, as well as Psyche and Capricorn, but for the sake of this little video, we're gonna just keep it with Psyche and Libra. The last couple things, these people can really self-sacrifice when it comes to their relationships. Not only do they settle at their worst, they can really do a lot of martyring to make the other person happy, but in the process they give up their own boundaries, and that is their soul's journey, is to kind of learn that that is not necessary, and sometimes harmony is not always an option, but that it is so important to, in a relationship, to have two people that are whole people come together as one, not that cheesy Hallmark quote, which is like, oh, two halves make a whole. Because finally, the last, I guess, unhealthy part of this placement, or the potentially unhealthy part of this placement, because everyone has a choice when it comes to your placements in astrology, but what we can really see is that this placement can be easily influenced by other people, because this placement is like the epitome of that friend or that person that will either partner business-wise, friend-wise, whatever, or romantically in particular, because their peers tell them, oh, you look so good with that person, I could just see you guys getting married. They really buy into the dream of what a perfect relationship is, and they can really buy into the potential of a relationship, and then realize that they never really knew the person that they were in a relationship with. But other than that, that is all I have to say about Psyche and Libra. Let me know what sign is your Psyche in your birth chart. I'd love to hear it. Also, tomorrow I'll be announcing more information about my site being back up. It is going back up this week, where you will get to go ahead and book all kinds of sessions with me, whether it be astrology, tarot, or the combination readings that I do. I actually just did one yesterday where we planned out someone's whole astrological year for like their solar return. But yeah, that information will be coming tomorrow, as well as your lunar lowdown. The moon will be moving into Aquarius tomorrow, and so I can't wait to see you guys then. Bye.